Do you ever feel like you're just doing it wrong? Like whatever the thing is that you're doing, it seems way more difficult than it's supposed to, and it seems like everybody else is clued into something that you're just missing. And this can't be a completely uncommon experience. This is how I have felt about playing this new game, or relatively new game, the Bazaar. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown, because for whatever reason, I have followed the build, like the design, development, and like build trajectory and community around this game. That's not a thing I typically do. What makes it more bizarre is that this guy, Raynad, I believe his name is. I am not even sure I'm pronouncing it right. Reynad, Raynad. He was a streamer. From what I have put together of this, he was a streamer. He primarily played, I believe he came up through Magic the Gathering, and which I never saw him play, I don't think. Made his way into things like Hearthstone and some other, other online games. I never once watched this guy stream anything. I don't know almost anything about him. However, for whatever reason, I bumped into him somewhere around, not physically, but like I bumped into his content somewhere around the time that he was beginning to, he was making his way to wanting to launch a game of his own. I'm going to say this was 2017-ish, something like that. 16, 17, I don't know. So I started bumping into some of this guy's content. He was going to make this game. He gets on to Indiegogo, which is sort of like a competitor to Kickstarter. He gets funded, puts out a few videos about what it is he's trying to build. He wants to make this game called the Bazaar. Bazaar being like the market kind of bazaar, not like bizarre things, but the marketplace kind of idea. And he wants to build this game. It's around, you're in a marketplace and there's a bunch of interesting characters and there's a game in there somewhere, right? That was sort of the pitch. And then there was like nothing for a long time. And I was certain that this thing was just vaporware, that it was just never going to actually occur. Again, I have no particular tie to this individual, but I kept just checking in on this thing for whatever reason. I wish I could more specifically remember why it is that I just every I don't know, 5-6 months, I would just check in, like, oh, there was that Bazaar thing. I wonder what's going on with that. I would love to learn some lessons from how this guy somehow hooked me to bother checking in on a game from a person I don't know about gameplay I never saw for over the course of, and here's a spoiler alert, this game ended up taking like 6 or 7 or maybe 8 years to build. It just came out. So this thing just launched to the public this calendar year in 2025. So I, got an account and I got in there. I started playing it. I am enjoying this game, at least to some extent. It has they nailed the flavor, I think. You are clearly in some sort of fantasy / sci-fi / steampunk-esque type of environment. You're at a marketplace, you buy stuff, and then it makes you better. And then there's this auto battler part of things. If you don't know what auto battlers are, go take a look at that. I really like auto battlers when they're done well. Like, I've been an auto chess player for many, many years now. So it's got some really cool elements. There's clearly a big focus on synergy within the gameplay. So that the general game loop, you kind of you go, you buy some items, you fight some computer enemies, you buy some more items, you kind of upgrade your stuff as you go, you become stronger, and then you fight against other players. It's a well put together game loop, and it's asynchronous yet still competitive, which is a pretty cool mix. I like that mix. So you don't need to necessarily be matched up directly with another player. I think it's just storing what that player had at that time in the game, and you get to play against them. So it's got some neat design elements to it, I would say. And the flavor is great. And the art is great. And I like how they've given the NPCs like personality. A lot of good stuff. Here's the thing. I cannot win a game. I am terrible at this game. Every game I play, I get in there and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I've got these synergies. I bought some good stuff. I've upgraded a thing, and I just lose. And I just lose and lose. And occasionally I win like a round, but I never win the full sweep of it. It's like I think like a 10-day cycle. So you kind of go through 10 total rounds kind of thing throughout the course of the game. Cannot win. And I feel like I've got to be doing something wrong here. This game can't be this difficult, right? I just came in. I have no ranking. I'm not presumably playing against anyone of particular skill level. I've got the beginner character and, whatever the beginner. And the other thing is I also don't understand how you get new stuff. I don't really understand that either. So I think that the actual interface, while it looks really pretty, has some like functionality stuff to work on. It feels like, I imagine I'm supposed to be opening some sort of chest loot box things that presumably I'm supposed to get through the course of winning rounds of a game. I think. And then I assume that inside of there's like new items I can find that then will show up in shops or something. Like, but I don't really know. I don't really understand how the actual. It's weird. I don't know. I understand how the gameplay works. I have no idea how the actual like building of your collection and stuff like that works. But also in the game, even though I feel like I understand what it's doing, I still can't win and I'm terrible at it. All of this is kind of a roundabout way to say a few things. First of all, whatever this guy did to build a community swirl around the development of this game seems to be very successful. I don't think it was just me. This game, every time I checked in on it, seemed to have an ever-growing community of people sitting around waiting for this thing to happen. So that was pretty cool. The other thing is, I would recommend checking this game out. Like, if you're looking for a game to kind of just, it's not terribly long to play. It's pretty fun. Good gameplay loop. Something a bit different, I'd say, than a lot of the other stuff that's out there. Check it out. See how you like it. The visuals are really nice. The gameplay is pretty fun. There's a lot of choices. You feel like there's a lot of agency. In some ways, I think at certain points there might actually be too much agency, where it almost starts to border on randomness. But it's still, give it a whirl if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Go look it up. It's called The Bazaar. But the other thing is, if somebody knows how to play this thing, let me know, because I'm terrible at it, and I'd like to get a little bit better.